welcome to Was That in Good Taste? That show that drinks a lot, yells into the void, and the void yells back, hey, just go to bed. I'm your host, Chandler Phillips, and with me is the co-host...
Yeah, my name is James. James Stephen Beery.
There you go.
Know it.
You keep dropping... That's the second time! Do you need a suction cup on the bottom of your fucking beer can?
I do indeed. That's right. Get to know us. That's right. Chandler Phillips and James Beery. All right. Such professionals.
Today on the podcast.
What are we talking about, Chandler?
We're talking about friends.
This is your episode.
We're talking about how you make friends, how you keep friends, and how you keep them tethered in your life so that they can't go and find other friends.
Ooh, you feel displaced by Grace King, don't you?
A little bit.
Oh, well, there you go.
She came in, I feel like you made a new best friend, and so I need to reassert myself.
Oh, just in case you folks don't know how this works, what we do is we alternate every week a topic and or theme, and this week, of course, it's Chandler Phillips over there.
I'm feeling insecure in my friendships.
So you want to talk about friends and friendships?
I need to talk about
professional. We're dropping things. I'm dropping beer. He's dropping phones. But guess what?
Gravity.
So guess what?
Thing, right?
We're doing it live.
All right, so first we're going to start out with what we're drinking today. I picked out a Sierra Nevada.
I'm going to shake, by the way. I'm going to shake mine.
You already...
You've
dreamt
really
it like 3 times.
I shook it really hard, okay.
I was going to say like a Polaroid picture, but apparently that's false advertising now. You're not supposed to shake Polaroid pictures.
You never were. Never. No.
It's the fucking... Yeah. It's the Earth meme where he's like, wait, you don't shake Polaroid pictures? You never did. Yeah. So yeah, we got a Sierra Nevada Dankful IPA, generously hoppy. And the reason I picked this one for today is because a lot of my friends live in the Chico area, and that's by the Sierra Nevada Brewery, and like it's a little close to home. It makes me feel close to my friends. We missed this year's Oktoberfest due to COVID, and it's a bit of a bummer. But also the Dankful, because one of the ways that my friend group likes to keep in contact is every Thanksgiving we have a following, like the day after Thanksgiving, we kind of have like a group reunion of sorts, and we call it Thanksgiving. And
I was just going to say that. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And so, I'll make something for them. The past couple of years, it's been like apple turnovers or something. It's like a big old potluck that we get together, and we make fun of each other, and then we get our fill of everyone, and then we don't want to see each other for the rest of the year.
And I just realized you're going to be here for Thanksgiving.
I will be.
You weren't planning on before, remember? Mm-hmm. Before you were going to go back.
I was going to go back, but now I'm kind of stuck
here. You're going
to
come to our vegan Thanksgiving.
Can I still make my apple turnovers?
Nope.
What?
This is our first fully vegan Thanksgiving.
But I can still veganize my apple turnovers.
You make them vegan, go ahead.
All right. But it's not like someone else is going to be bringing apple turnovers and I'm going to be like,
everybody is.
Oh, man.
So, Sierra Nevada is most popularly known for what? Their pale ale.
Mm-hmm. Their classic pale ale. They also have a pretty solid torpedo.
Oh, the torpedo, which is the IPA, which is the regular IPA. This is the double IPA, right? No, this is an overhopped IPA. I thought it was a double IPA.
Generously hoppy.
Torpedo is pretty good. So I'm not the world's biggest fan of Sierra Nevada, but it does have a distinct taste as a pale ale.
I'm a big fan of Sierra Nevada, specifically their Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's very good.
And that's very good. That one I consistently have gotten real sloshed on. Like, I think my friend, I'm going to name drop here. My friend Braden and I got a 24 pack of those once, and we were supposed to be celebrating his sister's birthday, but instead we killed the 24 pack and managed to just heckle the movie Superbad throughout her entire birthday until we passed out in armchairs. It was a grand old time. So, given that, what do you think of the Dankful IPA by Sierra Nevada? What's your assessment?
So, there's a few things. One, a lot of these beers have been doing the marijuana themed kind of beers, 6 Point, with their IPA series, with the Trail Haze and the Hootie, and the there's a few that's like literally, the name of the beer should be "I'm smoking a big doobie right now," you know. And this here is kind of a more traditional kind of, 7.4% alcohol by volume kind of IPA.
Well, like
it's as somebody, because you're not the world's biggest fan of IPAs.
That's what I was just about to say.
You're not the world's biggest fan of IPAs, and I gather that you kind of do like this.
This is tasty. It's got enough hops to it to let me know, like, hey, I'm not a wheat beer, but it's not overbearing. It's like you don't feel it in that little tingle in the bottom of your jaw that you get with a lot of IPAs.
New England IPAs, Northeast IPAs, style IPAs tend to be a lot juicier.
What happens wait, hold on. Explain
they tend to
that
have
flavor.
They tend to have a lot of fruitiness. They tend to have a lot of sweetness, and they tend to have a lot of body. West Coast IPAs, which is what we're holding in our hands, tend to be very hoppy, which is very bitter, which is what I would think you would not like. However, they tend to have a lighter body.
True.
So they're very bitter, but they're drinkable. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. We're on to see. Yeah, so it's super drinkable, or as they say in the beer, crushable.
Crush it, bro.
You know how in each whiskey, and they have their own terminology. In beer, it's crushable. So it's not what is the word I hate in fucking liquor? Smooth. It's not smooth. It's crushable.
Yeah, it goes down easy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So this is super good. It's nice and hoppy. It's not like crazy. It's not like some Galaxy or Mosaic hopped IPA.
Which I like Galaxy hops, but sometimes it's a little overbearing. This one's it's got like a nice little touch, almost a little citrusy, I'd say.
Yes. This is not a traditional West Coast IPA, but it's definitely not the saccharine, almost sweet, super bitter, thick, and Northeast style IPA, which is popular over here.
True. It almost kind of tastes like it has, it's leafy. It's vegetal.
So what you're tasting is the hops. You're literally tasting just the hops. Super green, very earthy, kind of bitter.
It makes me want to hug a tree.
It's not dry hopped, which is something that's super popular right now. It's popular everywhere, but it's like super popular on the East Coast. This is a super traditional kind of IPA that you don't get a lot of normally over here. So that makes it kind of special here because this is not what's popular.
I'm a fan.
It's good. The East Coast IPA to me is thumbs up, but that's what's so popular that it's kind of a lot. And they also tend to be. So this is 7.4, 7.6.
This is 7.4.
7.4. A lot of the East Coast IPAs, they get up there like 9. 7 it tends to be where they kind of fall, like between 6 and 7. But I feel like when you get up there, especially with stuff
intense.
Like everybody talks about Alchemist, like the Heady Topper and Focal Banger and stuff like that, which tend to be a little crisper, a little lighter. But then you got all the stuff out here, like some of the dub IPAs from Finback, which are pretty good, but the stuff from Grim out in Brooklyn tends to be very saccharine, kind of sweet. And, like the Hypnotic, that one, which is a seasonal they bring back all the time. Super, it's like 6.5%, but it's like super rich. A lot of people...
I like Hypnotic, but I like it like you kind of got to have it just one time. Like it's not one that you can have can after can after can.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Those beers are really not meant to be had back to back.
The beers.
Not the world's biggest fan scenario of Nevada, but this is, $12 for a 6-pack. It's good.
I'm a fan.
This is definitely, it's not Natty Ice on a boat. You know what I mean? But this is definitely sit with your friends at a barbecue. Yeah. You might have some Coors Light, but then somebody brings like 2 6-packs of this. So you have like a Coors Light, and then you have one of these also.
This is like what I'd have after playing a game of spike ball with the boys.
Yeah. Because like while you're doing it, you're having your regional version of if it's Coors Light or Natty Ice or regular Natty or whatever your regional
like your easy drinker, your crushing beer.
Yeah, whatever that is. But like you have to have one of these also.
Well, for me, back at home in California with the boys is we've gone to Michelob Ultras now. They're just
because you're white.
Actually, it started out because my one friend with type 1 diabetes started bringing these, and he's like, I can just keep count of the carbs super easily. And so we all kind of followed suit, and turns out you could throw Michelob's back super easy.
Honestly, Michelob is not bad at all.
It's crushable, bro.
Yeah. So, you've obviously connected with your friends over like beers and brewskis,
Exactly.
But you'd say you have a hard time making friends?
All right, so that's the theme of the episode is I don't make friends easily. Actually, that's not fully true. I'm good at making friends once someone else initiates conversation. That's the...
Like me.
Yeah. Like, you're really extroverted. You can start a conversation with a stranger real easily, and then, like, you know where to go with it. I can do step 2, but the step 1 is such a hurdle.
And that's where you're wrong.
No, but, like, how do you just talk to strangers?
I do step 1, but I'm bad at step 2.
Elaborate. Like, where do you fall through on step 2? Because, like...
I don't know. I could here. All right, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I first met you, I don't know. I was in a good mood from a busy day, and I was like, "Oh, you work there? How you doing? You want some coffee?" But immediately, the minute I did that, I felt immediately anxious, and I was like, "What the fuck am I saying?"
Oh. So a little bit of backstory. We ended up meeting because you worked at the beer shop that was adjacent to the liquor store that I worked at, and as the owner of both was showing you around. I was staring you down, I think.
You just were looking. I don't know.
No, it's just, yeah.
But we didn't really speak.
True.
Until you came in one day. You came in to get a sandwich, and we just had like a brief. I felt actually kind of anxious. I was like, there's a person who's like also like the youngest. Like everybody there is kind of like older, except for like Hector, who worked with me. Everybody else is kind of older. So like, here's a person who's like at least in their 20s.
Just similar age, like we'd have like mutual animes to reference.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, here's a person. And I was like, I guess I'll and then you said something about coffee, and since that's something I lean on, I was like, fuck, I know about coffee, and so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna bring you some. I was like, I'm gonna give you some fucking coffee, and I did that, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell you something. I said I was gonna, but I wasn't, because I was like. I felt really anxious about it.
You're like, fuck this guy. He doesn't need any more coffee.
I felt so anxious. I was like, oh, why did I do that? But I was like, I said that would bring somebody some.
Well, that kind of ties in the other tag on this beer is generously hoppy. Ooh. And I think that's kind of been a good way of making friends is like if you have an excuse to follow up with someone, like, oh, I'm going to give you whatever. And so, like, your generosity was in coffee, and that opened up.
And then I'm gonna tell you something. I actually would not have gone over there, but I said to myself, I give him some coffee.
I says to myself,
and I has some. So I says, I'm gonna just take the walk down the block, and I'm gonna give it to him. And I felt kind of stupid about it, actually.
You look stupid about it.
But, that's kind of what you need to do.
Well,
but you think I'm extroverted.
I think you're extremely extroverted.
But I stay in my house and don't do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't talk to anybody.
But every time you go outside, you do end up talking to someone, or you end up making a friend.
I'm from fucking New York.
That doesn't make sense.
We're from super dense. We're in a super dense place, so you just get acclimated to talking to people when you're like around people. But I hate it. I think that you're super good at it.
You don't seem like you're like you hate it. You seem very comfortable with talking to people and with doing that kind of stuff.
If only I felt that.
I mean, maybe you're just a good actor, because.
I'm a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, that too. But like, all right, so like with I feel like I'm better at like once I have a third party initiate a friendship, then I'm better at like kind of keeping the conversation up in the air, like a game of don't let the balloon touch the ground kind of thing.
I've never heard of that game, but okay, I'm fucking around with you.
Like, what, you never had a balloon? Yeah. You never had a ground full of push pins?
We used to call it keep Drew away, but okay.
Oh. So, like, all right. In my in my experience, I've always had that friend who initiates for me. Like, so I know she's going to end up listening to this podcast. My friend Kelly in college, like, we'd walk down the street and there would be easily 5 people at any given instance who would come up and be like, "Oh, hey, Kelly, what's up?" And then she'd introduce me, and then I'd end up making friends from that. So, like, I've always had a bridge, but I've never had to be the one to initiate. And that, like, how do you get over yourself so much?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you something. So my friend Wally, I met him on the first day of my 3rd high school experience. And I met him, and we were like, oh, we had the same birthday. We take the same bus. And so after going to many high schools where people I went to junior high school with used to beat the shit out of me, I was like, oh, I'm at a new place. I met somebody. And he introduced me to somebody he went to elementary school with, Denise, and her best friend, Lisa. Denise was dating Miguel. And, I met Jose because he was walking down the street, and because I had issues making friends, they gave me counseling, and and eventually they paired me with somebody whose name was Amanda, who lived around the corner with me.
Wait, so you got actual instruction on how to make friends?
Yes, and what actually ended up happening, this is funny as fuck, is that I actually, at some point, because we were all friends and we all had counseling, I convinced the counselor to put us all in one group together.
That's where the sociopath is. I manipulated this counselor, to make sure I was only in the group with my friends.
You always say stuff like, man, you're so extroverted. But I'm not. I don't have the social energy to get out there and to kind of make these things happen. What happens is that I just so happen to occasionally be in situations where, if you're presented with, like, when I was a kid, I had no friends. I used to read a lot. I was very isolated. And so when I am confronted with a situation where somebody has an interest, I do say something to them. But it's not really extroversion. People do catch me when I'm manic. And there's different, because I do have manic episodes. And what'll happen is I'll be super energetic, and I'll just be going a million miles a minute in my head, and somebody... And
someone will just get in your path.
Somebody just gets in my path who shares a similar interest as me, and it just goes, But generally, I fucking isolate myself. I don't go out with friends. I don't do anything. I lie to avoid people so that I can be by myself, because being with people is difficult.
I agree. Like, socializing can be exhausting, but you seem so much better at breaking ice.
Because
how do you break ice?
I'm telling you, it's because
I can swim in frigid waters, but I can't break ice.
So, I think we've spoken about Adriana before in this podcast. I don't know if we have, but I love Adriana very much. I've known Adriana a very long time. In the cabinet behind you, there's a bracelet. After we had not seen each other for about half a year, maybe a little bit more, I reached out to her. And I kept reaching out to her, and we hung out. And she was wearing this bracelet. And we hung out, and we had a good time. But she just, I don't know what happened. She just was like, you know what? We're not going to hang out again. But I was holding the bracelet. And I took it home by accident. And I was like, yo, I have your bracelet. And I just happened to have her bracelet.
Seems like you kind of created a reason.
Well, I didn't. But I'll tell you something. When we hung out, I didn't have the bracelet again, but the bracelet didn't even matter. It's all about having things in common with people, and that allows you to create something that's comfortable. If you don't feel extroverted, maybe it's not because you're not finding people to talk to. You're just probably not connecting with people over similar interests. You know what I mean? All the friends that I've had that I've met outside of my high school friends was I happened to be in a place with people who shared my interests, So, like, when I was in FLC, where I met Adriana, I was surrounded by people who shared music interests with me. When I was hanging out in Neutral Ground, which is a place where we played trading card games, it's very easy to make a friend when you're playing random games with random people you don't know, because you all are there to share a similar interest.
But, all right, so you were telling me a story earlier about how, like,
oh no,
someone that you knew ended up, like, your social circle is oddly intertwined. Like, it's not a circle as much it is like a series of Venn diagrams.
Pretty much everyone I've ever dated knows each other.
Yeah.
Even if they're not from the same borough. Even
Like,
in New York City, if you're not from New York.
How did that happen?
I honestly, all right, so here's the thing.
Why'd that be like it is?
We spoke about this before. When you're in New York City, which is where we are right now. Brooklyn,
New York City,
Brooklyn and the Bronx are the equivalent of 200 miles away, right? Culturally, not great. They're bad. Yes, there are. Like, some people say that there are parts of Brooklyn that are worse than the Bronx. It's not about that. Culturally, it's a very different place. You know what I mean? You ever read Bonfire of the Vanities? The Bronx was heavily Jewish, and then there was there was a huge, a lot of people. They moved out of the Bronx, and they there was a huge migration of people with money out of the Bronx. Mm-hmm. So they, what happened is that, a lot of lower income people moved into the area.
I believe that's referred to as white flight.
It is called white flight. Yeah. So it's a very different kind of area.
Yeah. I like the term.
I met someone who I love very much, and then years later, it turned out that my closest friend from Brooklyn just happened to be best friends with her uncle.
What?
A lot of the women that I've dated went to school together, even though I met them independent of each other, not near each other. But that's the kind of mixture of geography, because if you live in a town or a city, you would think, well, there's very few people. New York has, and has always had, a minimum in the city of 9 million people.
It's so
either
dense.
Living here or traveling to and from here.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting that I'm black. I like, maybe now people are like Little Xan and XX, X. There was, when you liked alt music or like My Chemical Romance or, Breaking, Taking Back Sunday and stuff like that, the community was...
black man liking white people music. Okay, go on.
They used to say, that's how you did shit beat out. You're wearing black? Only black, not chain nothing. You're gonna beat the shit. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. When I was younger, I was very isolated. People didn't really share my interest in reading and doing things like that. But check this out: I get older, you meet people with your interests. Of course, the people in that kind of community at the time, in like the late '90s, early 2000s, is not pop culture yet. Like it became briefly. Like hip hop is pop culture from like 2009 on, but like really. Hard, like there was screaming and songs on the radio from like 2005 to the beginning of 2010.
Yes, I'm a fan of Linkin Park.
But isn't that great? Think about that. So but before that, that didn't really, so the communities are like really small.
So it was almost like you were pushed into these fringe
You're forgetting something.
Yeah.
Making friends includes the caveat is that you've only made a friend if you keep a friend.
Ooh. Wow. Waxing poetic on this mic.
Oh, man.
Friends only count if you keep friends.
I'm fucking good.
Damn.
And I'm going to tell you something. I've done a good job of damaging a lot of friendships.
Oof.
So am I good at making friends? I don't know.
So you can break ice. You can break ice like one of them.
I can melt that shit too.
Oof. But when it comes to doing the polar plunge...
Tell me that's not fucking good. Tell me that was not fucking... That was good.
That was decent.
Oof.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you that. Like, all right. I think that's where I got you kind of beat, because I'm better at. I'm not great, but I'm better at maintaining friendships. I like to think, and so I don't know. Like, I'm good at finding common interests and then maintaining those common interests, and then I think the thing I fall short of is reaching out consistently, like that. There are friends in the past that I didn't necessarily lose as friends, but I just wish I would keep in contact more. And then when I think about like the instances when I think, oh, I should reach out to that person, I should talk to them, I'm like, it's fucking 1:00 in the morning. Why should I contact this person? And I think what kind of has to do with that is like our, for lack of a better word, the love languages. Like, all right, so I don't know. I've been reading.
I've spoken.
I've been up on this.
I've spoken about this.
Have you taken the quiz? Have you taken a love language quiz?
My language is highly physical, but I do also like
highly physical, as in like physical contact, or like physical as in you just need to be present.
Present works, but physical contact and verbal affirmation.
Ooh, okay. Verbal affirmation I could see. But like the physical contact, that's an interesting one.
I don't like anybody near me. I don't like to be touched. I don't like anybody near me. I actually really don't like people touching my physical form. But especially in romantic relationships,
the few who do,
I just need to be touching. You know, I don't really do those
like
men
a
so
male
much.
Anglerfish.
I don't really do
just
those men.
Latch on.
Maybe have daddy issues because my father was not the world's not bad, but not the world's best. So when it comes to men, I'm not as affectionate, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, all right. So that's. I want to talk about, or just my love languages tend to be more like acts of service and stuff that you can do.
Okay, well, fuck you, because you said that, and I was like, oh well, that's a fucking lie, because I think that's my number one fucking thing. If I love you, I'm your fucking slave.
Oof.
You know the people I love. I'm gonna tell you something. You ain't seen it. I'm a motherfucker.
No, I know you bend over backwards for the people.
I'm not judged. It's not there. It's not them. It's me.
Oh, you receive.
No.
Wait,
no.
what?
I'm saying.
What do you mean?
It's not them asking of me. I just give. People that I love and I care about, I just give. If you're my friend, if you want my last dollar, you can have it. I don't give a shit. I'll starve.
That's true.
I'll take it.
I've seen that.
I don't give a fuck.
I have seen you spend your last monies on people that are really close to you.
If you're hungry, Chandler, you tell me. I don't need to eat. Look at me. I got a little extra storage here of energy. It's called fat. I got it.
Your reserves. Keeps you warm in the winter
Listen,
months.
it's strategic. I'm packing it on so that when I give my money away, I don't have to eat.
Well, I think so. Like, I think there's also a difference in the way both of us will maintain like guy friendships versus the way you'll maintain friendships with a different gender.
Yes, I've only been friends with women that I've had sex with. Mostly, yes. I've had very few male friends. Yes. It's not turned out well for me, okay? So
I'm still here, buddy.
yeah.
So, all right. But that I don't know, maybe it translates, maybe there's a gender divide between the translation of love languages. Because, like, all right, so, like I said, for me, the kind of blanket, I guess, would be acts of service and maybe words of affirmation. For my guy friend groups, it's primarily words of degradation. Like, we're the worst to each other, but it's all in good fun, because in a one-on-one situation, I think that there's still some connection there.
So I'm gonna say to you that you mentioned something about retaining friendships. I mentioned something. You said that that's something you're good at. Can I tell you that despite what I say, I do have friends who listen to this. And when I do podcasts, I always say the same thing. I always mention them by name, you know. And I always go Lisa, Denise, Wally, Miguel. I always mention these people specifically.
I just figured you were making them up so that you could seem like you have more friends than you actually do.
And of course, Johnny and Amanda, which includes Sky and Lucia. I can go on forever. But the reason I always mention those people is because despite my anxiety and despite my inability to retain friends, they're still my friends.
Aww.
And I think the key to having friends is making good ones and picking good people.
That's
just saying. Just got to throw that out there.
You got to know how to pick them.
You really have to know the people, to choose the right people.
So,
and Adriana, by the way, is up in there too, because despite everything and how I've behaved and the things that I've done that are bad, if I ever needed anything, there's no doubt if I turn to her that she'll be there.
So I guess let me pose this to you. Do you think, you've made a lot of good friends. You know how to pick them, but have you made any bad apple friends?
No, I've mentioned all that list. That's the name I didn't say. His name is Antoine. Oh, Antoine Eugene Patterson. I'm gonna say your whole fucking name.
Shit, you're just throwing him on blast like that?
Because I'm gonna tell you something. we were in high school. We made fun of him for having a small dick and being a virgin. I was a virgin too, because we were men, and that's what guys.
Wait, but did you have a small dick also?
No, you know. But here's the thing: is that we kind of cracked all these things and all these jokes. But when I came back from Georgia, he was hanging out at the library in Fordham, on Fordham Road, which is an urban area in the Bronx. It's kind of a shopping area. There was a library that they'd located and turned into a larger one, which is the main branch of the New York Public Library inside of the Bronx. It's a very nice LEED LEED certified building with like automatic, like the curtains close automatically and the lights turn off if you're not inside there. It's very big open spaces, very modern.
Could you play Ultimate Frisbee in there?
Actually on the first level there was a teen center with televisions. They played video games.
Sick,
downstairs,
bro.
They had lots of groups. We were just too old to be there, 18, 19. But we had just been out of high school, so of course we still hung out in the teen center because we still had friends that were there. Mm-hmm. And he and I were really good friends. He was really hung up on this thing with me fucking his sister. I didn't fuck his sister because his sister, when she was 9, again, we were in high school. His sister was 9 years old. I think she had a crush on me, so she wrote something in her diary about liking me. And he just had like this huge fucking thing. And I was like, your sister's like 9 years old. And then when she was like 13, she was like around, but like I didn't like her. She was like 13 fucking years old. I was not into her. Mm-hmm. And I literally supported him in his like punk band, but he started getting like really distant. I remember when we were on the train and he was like, yo, my mother, she's not letting me do what I want to do. I want to smoke weed and I want to do whatever I want. And
Moms suck.
And she's like really upset with me because like, I live there. And she was like, oh, if you're going to do this stuff, you can't live here anymore. And then he did what he wanted to do. So she kicked him out, which by the way, I'm not really mad at her about because it's her house.
Yeah. But
he was like so upset about it, but I still try to support him. But he like distanced himself from me. And he said like all these really, really bad things about me. And we were so close. And he was so up on like the fact that I fucked his sister, or wanted to fuck his sister. I never did that. I was like, "Yo, your sister's too young. I'm not like running to her." She's like, "We're like, I used to support her like a bigger brother because he used to be so mean to her. He used to treat her kind of bad." And she would write me. She would talk to me in the library like, "Oh, they're reading my diary. They're reading my diary," and I'd be like, "Don't write personal stuff in your diary."
Isn't that the point of a diary, though?
No.
Or at least maybe...
I said make a dummy diary.
Oh.
Or if they know where you're hiding, I don't know, carry it with you or something. Now, I'm going to tell you, he was so upset about this shit. He was so fucking upset about this idea that I wanted to fuck his sister. And I don't understand. We were so close. And I lost that friendship, and it really hurt my heart, so I fucked his sister. Obviously she was of age.
Okay, there you go.
And 2, I say that like that, but can I just say that Sierra is very awesome. She writes this awesome blog called Funky at Heart, funkyatheart.com. She's actually been on The Art of Giving Up twice. An absolutely amazing, educated, funny person who's super talented. It's just a joke. Don't fucking kill me. Because she may or may not listen sometimes. But he and I were really close, but in hindsight, like when he was fucking trannies and fucking alleys and shit and doing all this, I mean, oh fuck. I can't. Hold on. Pause.
What?
Pause. This is like.
Am I gonna have to cancel you?
No, this is the early 2000s. So this is what we said. Mm-hmm. We said stuff like that. I obviously. My ex-partner. This is my version. Hold on, listen. This is my version of I know a trans person.
No,
on the Art of Giving
your,
Up.
Your version of I Have a Black Friend.
on my podcast, Art of Giving Up, which of course you can find on iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc.
We're not getting to the plugs part of the episode. All right, go on.
I did have my partner who was trans on there as well. I was referring to the people that he slept with in a derogatory manner. Because that's how he would speak about them. Because he was full of self-hatred.
He was internalizing.
He was
the
internalizing
shame.
it. And then, like, you know, he had like a child with somebody, and he would like make fun of me and stuff, and be like really mean to me. But it turns out that like he's not allowed to see his child because he's a shitty father. So there you go. You know, I'm a piece of shit, I guess. But like he's not allowed to see his child because he's a piece of shit. But he tells people that like, you know, he's a good father, and the mother just won't let you see my kid. Yeah, fuck you, Antoine. All right.
So I'm guessing you probably haven't maintained this friendship.
What hurts the most is that I would. Because I don't let people go. And I'm only saying these things to be kind of mean, but I care about this person very much. And I've known him for a very long time. And you don't let people go, even when they let you go sometimes.
That's true. There's a couple of friends that I got that, like, I don't know, maybe I do let people go a little too easy sometimes, but it's only because, like, I have to really see that they want to not continue being...
So all your friends got you.
No, my friends hate me, but in a loving way. Like I said, words of degradation. In fact, here's a good example of it. We had like a friendship reunion at my friend's house in L.A. A couple years ago, and we actually got T-shirts made for the occasion. This was 2018, and so on the back of the T-shirt, I showed up a day late because I had to work at a job that I eventually got fired from. That I was like, guys, I can't afford to just take a Friday off. I'm struggling too hard, and they're like, okay, well, you show up on Saturday. So they made T-shirts for the occasion that said, Crew Reunion 2018, Rip Chandler, Never Drink Alone.
That's cute.
And they had a picture of my bear paw tattoo on the shirt, too. Like, that's...
The bear paw tattoo, that's, of course, going to be on the Instagram inside of the story when this podcast goes live.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I mean, a little backstory. It's from Disney's Brother Bear. It's...
You're losers.
It's cute as fuck. So anyway, like that's the kind of friend group I'm in, is like where our method of connecting to each other. We still have a group chat. We've maintained a group chat with, I think, 14 of us that have still been friends for the past 6-7 years. And I think the most integral part of this group chat is we created a bot for it that consistently posts every Sunday a picture of the Bristol stool chart. If you're not familiar, this might be...
What is this? What is... Wow, that's cool. Ooh, I peeked. What exactly is the Bristol stool chart?
The Bristol stool chart is a chart spectrum of 1 to 7, and it indicates the consistency of your stool. So, like, one of the things that my friend group is really concerned about is everyone's digestive health. So every Sunday, it'll post this chart 1 through 7, 1 being like rabbit pellets, and 7 being just the runniest diarrhea.
Just so you know, right now I'm at a type 6.
Oh no, honey.
Yeah. Fluffy pieces with ragged edges. A mushy stool.
All right, you need...
Which happens to me when I get a cold. I just...
you're just trying to flush everything out.
Yeah.
You could probably use a little bit more fiber, honestly.
Maybe too much fiber is the problem.
No, fiber keeps everything... Oh, I don't know. 'Cause it depends if you're using actual vegetation, or if you're using like fiber supplements, or if you're using like Metamucil.
I'm vegan. I've been eating I've been eating a lot of greenage lately. A lot. Not even supplement.
Okay.
You know, and usually I'm a type 4, a sausage-like or snake smooth and soft.
Well, that's what you're aiming for. Is you want anywhere between 3 to 5. 3 to 5 is the wheelhouse. 4, you're perfect. So if you're usually hitting 4s, right on for you.
Good, go me.
So yeah, my group, we like to check in, but this is probably the most intimate I am with anyone. Is these 12 to 14 other people who consistently, on a weekly basis, get updates on the average consistency, because we want to make sure that if anyone is having intestinal distress, We want to make sure that, like, as a group, we can kind of monitor.
Can I just make a comment about the fact that, like, this is your Discord?
Yeah.
The one that I'm on, but I don't participate in that because I distance myself from all kinds of social interaction. Just saying.
This is the very same Discord. Well, okay, so we have the Sundays is for sacred shits, and then every other day of the week we have it's basically the equivalent, but for hydration. Like, you have a hydro flask, right?
I do have a hydro flask.
You're a hydro homie.
I totally am.
So, all right. So, and then on every other day, we get posts for the 1 through 7. It's basically the same, but it's
I've been kicked from your group.
What?
What's the name of your group again?
I think that one is it has something to do with RuneScape because they're super lame. They're
I believe that I've been kicked.
What's the group again?
What?
Oh, Real Gamers Only is the name of the chat. No, you're not a real gamer.
I was on it.
You were.
I got fucking kicked.
Aw, because you weren't active enough. If you would have told us,
invite me back.
If you were more intimate with us about the consistency of your stool, then maybe you wouldn't have been
Invite
kicked.
me back. I'm gonna be there. So I'm gonna tell you something that's very interesting. So the thing about the stool chart that I think is very interesting is, in a sense, for me, there's a sense of shame in it. I don't know. It's like very personal, and in it, there's like a little, I think, is a possibility of ridicule, right? Which you've mentioned.
A little bit.
That's kind of where you've connected. But over the years, I personally have found that I don't really like that. Me and my closest friends did a lot of the ridiculing, and I found, again, I'm older than you. When I was your age, that's what we did. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten older, I realized that, like, I preferred more kind words and affirmation to the ridicule, because I found that the ridicule just kind of covers up and obfuscates the kindness and the actual love we have for each other. And in a way, maybe not for you. I'm not trying to fuck up your whole shit, but I'm about to say, you and your friend group do this, but there's a possibility that 1 or 2 people in your friend group don't really like it.
Oh, I believe that. Oh, it's toxic as fuck.
And I think that, like, it's not always easy to speak up about that, you know. And I found personally, I've been able to retain relationships more by being like, hey, I don't like this. This doesn't make me, I don't really like this, and I kind of want to be kind. You know, I had a friend a long time ago, rest in peace, who used to always call me loser all the time for years. Hey, loser, hey, loser. But then, like, I don't know, a few years ago, I was like, I'm not bothered. When you say, hey, loser, I don't, like, fall apart, but I don't love it.
Well, I guess I tend to be more spite motivated. So, like, all right,
So you're saying you can't express yourself. Invite me to the fucking Discord again. I'm fucking upset. You know what? I wasn't going there, but now I feel left out.
Are you just mad? You didn't play Civ enough with us.
I'm gonna fucking play. Fucking invite me.
You didn't play Civ. You didn't play Rocket League.
I'm gonna play. Rocket League is free now and everything.
You're not getting them RuneScape
Even though I paid into
games.
Fuck it. I'm too old to play. I was literally too old. Fucking invite me back. Anyway, continue.
Anywho,
I feel left out.
Like, when I say one of my love languages is words of degradation, I respond.
You're a fucking loser, and I fucking hate you.
I'll show you, you stupid bitch. What?
Oh, that's so kinky. I love it.
I thought that was like a grossed out moan, not like a enjoying it kind of. Anyway, I respond to spite better than I respond to, like, actual. I don't believe words of affirmation all that well from my close guy friends. I feel like if they are actually,
they hate themselves and they're homophobic. Gotcha.
Exactly. Like, if we actually enjoyed each other's presence, then we don't vocalize it. That you repress that deep down. You don't like spending time with other guys. Psh, that's whoa.
Not from my history.
I don't know. Yeah. But, like, so we had this weight loss challenge last year. And the entire time, one of my friends is just constantly calling me on a daily basis. And he's like, hey, what'd you do today? Did you work out today? Did you walk today? Did you go on a run? What'd you do? What'd you do? And it got so fucking annoying that I was shamed and annoyed into losing 30 pounds within the span of 2 months. And
yeah, I think I'd kill myself.
Well, it was practically some sort of self-harm, I suppose.
Self-mutilation?
There you go, self-mutilation. In that, like, I had dreams about cheesy bread. That's how fucking intense I was about this diet. There were fires happening around his city, and he was still out and running on a regular basis. Just so that he could get down. Like, we were on a day, like the last 2 weeks, we were on a day-by-day basis. And we were like, oh, I spent 30 minutes in the sauna today. Oh, well, I spent 30 minutes on the treadmill and then another 30 in the sauna. It was that fucking intense. But honestly, at the time, I fucking hated these people. Like, I wanted to bury them. I wanted them to feel the shame that I felt on a regular basis, to the point where eventually I just kind of broke the bad dietary habits that I had. I don't think I would have done it with positive reinforcement.
Because you're fucking weak.
Well, that may be true. But anyway, the other thing, aside from just shitting on each other on a regular basis, we also enjoy mutual activities. So, like, when we're not just on a constant state of ridicule, we do actually enjoy each other's company. Like, I wanna make sure that's clear. Like, this summer, I spent a lot of time with my friend Kyle. He got I think I talked about this last episode. He got a lake pass.
Fuck you, Kyle. You bastard. My throat is Ross. I can't do it. But I was gonna Cartman. But
You're gonna really get in. You're gonna fuck you, Cal. No, he spent.
You.
Fuck you, man. You took it too far. Anyway, he got this lake pass. We spent a lot of time going to the lake, and so that was just one of the mutual activities. He wanted to spend a lot more time outdoors. I wanted to spend a lot more time outdoors because that's not something I can do a lot in New York. And there is still a mutual appreciation. Like, I want to make sure that we're not friends because we hate each other. We hate each other because we like spending so much time with each other that you know, and you kind of know. Like, he said this one time, we're hanging out, and it was he is Kyle, his girlfriend, and me, and I think, like, their dog, Winnie Beans. And they were gonna...
What?
Get that COVID away from me. What the fuck are you doing?
Winnie Beans! I'm dying.
Winnie Beans! It's short for Winifred Beans.
You're actively fucking killing me.
Winifred Beans. So we're hanging out. I think he's working on his car, and Marissa, his girlfriend, is like, I'm gonna go grab some food for us. Chandler, you want anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. And she's like, but it's dinner time. I have no problem getting you food. Do you not eat? And Kyle goes, no, see, Chandler enjoys food as, like, the thing to do. And if we're working on the car, that's not the food isn't the thing we're doing. And, like, he was able to express this feeling that I have about meals and about food. And, like, I had never been able to fully articulate it myself, but he was able to just, like, no, I know how he works. This isn't what he wants right now. And in that moment, I think I found my appreciation. Like, I mean, I had appreciated him as a friend a long time, but just that his ability to articulate a feeling that I personally still hadn't fully been able to express, I think was...
I'm literally cannot stop laughing. Your fucking face is ridiculous. You're talking about emotions like a person.
Oh, sorry. I'm letting my guard down and acting like a genuine human.
Like, literally, you fucking started talking about emotions.
I love my friends.
Like, a piece of phlegm comes up, and I'm like fucking choking. I can't.
Maybe... I'm sorry, have I been talking too long? Are you just getting antsy?
Maybe.
Is that
fuck you.
I was monologuing and you're like, oh, I need attention.
Fuck. Save me, Jesus. It might have also been the fact that I decided to fucking take like a fucking lozenges. You notice when I took the lozenges, I started coughing.
Is that what you did? Dude, I thought lozenges were supposed to help you not cough.
Fuck you and yours. Oh, shit.
Are you good?
No.
Take a breath. Dying. Take a drink. Take a breath. Or just die. I
think I should. You know what?
Just fucking die.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like, oh man.
I could either keep coughing.
And I should pause. I can fucking, this is not live. I can stop it. And I decided no. The listeners should suffer this. But you deserve it, you piece of shit. See, now I know that you like to be degraded. I just, to show affection, there you go.
It's just, I know you care if you're willing to express criticism in the most creative form. And that's the way I keep and maintain friendships, is by, I guess, ball busting would be the term.
But you don't, that's homophobic. I can't say that. All that male machismo jockeying is homophobic.
All that macho mishigas. All right, let me ask you this then. Are you done coughing? Can I ask you questions now? Are you present, or have you
you got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh shit! No, we got 5 minutes. We're done talking about friends.
No. I got you. No. Continue.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Continue.
All right. Then I just.
Guess what you gotta say.
All right.
I'm coughing for all this time. Totally.
Then I guess the last question on my docket.
I'm pretending to cough, but then I made myself cough for real. I continue. I'm gonna die.
Can I say something?
You saw me beginning to fake off. You made a face, and then I couldn't breathe. Okay, continue. This is good radio. Continue. Am I coming for all this time or not? All right, continue.
All right, are you good?
Continue.
So, the issue... I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. I think the only issue I have when it comes to maintaining friendships is the direct communication aspects. Like, I tend to fall into the out of sight, out of mind kind of category. So my question for you is reaching out to people that you know, people that you want in your life. I'm going to take a shit in your pillow. I swear to fucking God.
Continue.
Look, if you don't stop right now, I'm going to give you a tracheotomy. I will stab you in the fucking throat. Hit your inhaler.
Hold on. Continue.
Lord knows you got like 200 puffs out of that shit.
Continue.
Is it a chore or is it a leisure activity to reach out to friends or to family or like just?
Okay, I'm done. No, I'm kidding.
I'm done.
Reaching out to people? Oh God, I'm gonna fucking die. You're killing me, and your fucking face is so ridiculous. All right. Reaching out to friends and family often feels like a chore.
I kind of feel the same
but
way.
it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And that's kind of the problem. Oh, well, you're right. When I talk, oh man, you talk too much. Now, this
fucking guy.
Here's the thing. Relationships are emotional labor sometimes. Whether or not it's good or bad, there's labor involved. There's time invested, emotion invested, and we're finite beings with finite time. And, we often have very little inside of ourselves for ourselves, much less other people. So we have to kind of like take internal stock of who we are, right? And be like, okay, so do I have enough in me today to support the people that I care about who are going through a lot, but are moody as fuck, and for no reason giving you a ton of shit, for no fucking reason, and stressing you the fuck out for no fucking reason, just because they're moody as fuck.
You seem to be gesturing.
But the reality is that loving people is labor, and it's a labor of love.
Loving you.
And when
is it easier if they're beautiful?
Maybe. I mean, if you're banging them, I guess.
I don't
coming
know about that.
Loving someone is hard. Maintaining relationships, like you said, seems the hard part. The hard part about maintaining relationships, any kind, including family, this is the tricky thing. Mm-hmm. People trick you into believing that you need to love family. You don't.
Should
you come from a place, and you're surrounded by people, but you don't half, not have, half. You don't have to love them. But we all feel like we are beholden or emotionally tied to certain people, right? When we decide to care about people, we decide how much of ourselves we're going to give to them. And we all are different people. Some people like to talk about their stool.
Dietary health. Get it right. If you're going to come, you best come correct.
But the friendship really leans on when times get hard. When lies are told. When lies are told and things fall apart. That's where friendship comes in. Is when you can forgive people or when you can be there for them when they need you. Because yes, when you need someone, your friend should be there. But unfortunately, that's kind of how friendships work. In the real world, we can only expect from ourselves, us, and good friends will be there for us. But what makes a good friend is you. You.
Me? Or just like
you? I'm pointing at you. So this is what I have to say. I can't. I want the fake cough, but I'm scared of a fake cough. I'm gonna cough for real. Oh God, here we go. You know what you are? You're a I did not say anything. All right. So, this is going to come to an end. And one thing about podcasts and relationships is that things come to an end. And that's the scary part. Friendships, like the last episode of BoJack, we were talking about off air, we're fucking losers because we talk about BoJack Horseman, apparently.
It makes me cry.
Some relationships just have to end, and you don't decide when.
Who decides, or is it
time.
just the
natural passage of? Think about a lot of friendships that you've had that have gone away. You don't decide that they go away. Even if you sit there in a moment and go, "I'm not their friend anymore," you didn't decide for the actions or the history or anything that come between you. It's just what happens.
Like a stream changing course.
Which is why I have to say, when it comes to friendships, it's only two words. Two words that really connect and draw from you, and they really just...
Are you going to summit Mount What's Your Point anytime soon?
I'm crying because these are the two truest words I've ever heard in my life.
Jesus
Entertain me. Dance clown.
Oh, all right.
Oh, tell me. Make me laugh. I'm distraught.
Do you know why Orthodox Jews don't use chlorine in their public pools?
Why?
Because the water gets too acidic.
Man, I really think we should make a dating app for people who are really into late 80s, early 90s rock. We should call it Plenty of Fish.
Hey, you ever been to a protest and you see the edgelord in a V for Vendetta mask and you're like, whoa, look out, this guy fucks.
I've been that guy. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What you got? Give me one more. Come on.
I can't.
Clap back. What you got?
Oh, God.
No,
the only jokes I can think about is about being the guy that, oh my God. I don't know if I can even say this.
Do it. Say it. Hold on. To quote Biden, do it. Say it. Go on.
This is less of a joke and more of a self-reflection. You ever walk into a physical therapy clinic and saw a young woman in a wheelchair and thought, man, sure do fucking have a chance. Yes. Yes, I have.
All right, this is the last. This is the one we're gonna end on. All right. My dog had ACL surgery recently. Sent her home with a fentanyl patch. Afterwards, she had puppy withdrawals. Good news is, now she knows sit, stay, and shakes.
I'm scared. If I laugh, I'm going to fucking cough.
All right. Was that in good taste?
Was that in good taste? I don't think so. Oh, Jesus Christ. I used to hang out with these people. Check this out. This is not a joke. I used to hang out with these people who are super awesome, you know? And I used to always think to myself, like, man, it's not bad, but everyone I know suffers from some sort of mental illness or a physical disability, but me, right? And I was like, how is it possible that everyone I hang out with suffers from some sort of mental illness or physical disability, but me? And you know, they always say, like, man, like, they always say, like, you know, if nobody's crazy in the group, it's you. Yeah, it's not true. I looked in the mirror. Turns out that I have a mental illness and a physical disability. 1, I'm ugly. And 2, I can't even say this. Oh, God. I can't.
Did you just fucking botch the punchline?
No, I just had to stop myself.
Was this
No.
Was this intended to be a joke, or were you just...
Originally, but then you ever think about a joke, and then you realize you can't say this, because even if somebody hears this, I will lose every possible future of a career. Okay? Can I just... Let me give you a little concept about myself, right? One of my exes was in a wheelchair. Nothing to say about her as a person, or in fact, she's in a wheelchair. She was completely abled. My other ex could barely walk, and my other ex suffered from, like, lupus and had severe flare-ups very often. I was gonna say, this says a lot about me, okay? And the joke that I was gonna make was not good.
Was this something about you liking vulnerable people?
Something about... No. What?
What?
First of all, what are you even saying? I would never.
What?
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 First of all, I would never go hanging outside a physical therapy office looking to bang vulnerable chicks, okay, who could not walk. I would never do that. That's not something that I would ever do. I would never find women named Christine, okay, and then realize that she couldn't really walk and she was depressed, and then hang around her and help her walk and hide her cane, okay, so that she had to lean on me. I would never do that. That's not something that I would ever do. And if there are people named Felicia who were amputated with both legs and they were depressed, okay, and they couldn't get out of bed, I would not hide their fucking limbs so that they had to depend on me. Okay, those are things that I would never do. I would never take advantage of somebody vulnerable with their permission.
These are oddly specific. Uncomfortably specific.
I would never do these things. Okay? These are things that I would never do. Okay? I am not a manipulator. I am not an abuser. Okay? The fact that most of my exes have some sort of severe mental disability says less about them and more about me. I think I said that backwards. Nothing to do with me. Okay? I promise. I promise.
Oh, jeez. This is a good thing you're the one who edits this shit.
Yeah. No. I swear, I've obviously never trolled outside of a physical therapy office looking for hobbled women. You just beat them up, hobble them yourself. Look at your face. I can't even. Come on. That was funny.
Look, all right. The thing with domestic violence jokes. It's just beating a dead horse. Except instead of a dead horse, it's a...
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. People will listen to this and they'll be like, oh, how dare they make those jokes. Listen.
Please,
Can I tell you something? When I was a kid, I watched my mother get the shit beat out of her. I watched my mother get dragged around and beaten and abused. Okay? Mm-hmm. And honestly, no, seriously, just like, like her ex banging on the door and I went to open the door. He was like, when she was out, he the mom out of the house. She was like, let me in, James. And he was like, if you let her in, I'll fucking kill her. We deal with trauma the same ways, okay? So I make jokes about it. And if it's a problem, okay, suck it up. It's not my fault it turns me on. That was good. Come on.
All right. The joke itself was pretty funny. But the structure of it.
The
structure of it doesn't fit the framework.
It was because it wasn't a joke until the end. I was like,
wait a minute. I can make a joke out of this trauma.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, well, yeah. So that was it, right? That was it. That was the end, right? Was that in good taste? You could do the outro, right?
That was my outro.
No, that was it. Hold on,
we did the outro like fucking 5 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
I listened to the last episode and I realized that we always do that. So it's a bit. There you go.
We always do what?
Like do the outro and then like do 15 more minutes.
Oh, so we say like, oh, this is the end of it.
Yeah, and then
then just keep going.
And then we take the joke on too long. Yeah. So, what does it say on that paper there?
Was this in good taste?
Or does it say that you can always reach out to me at that funny friend on Twitter or at Art of Giving Up on Instagram, or you can always shoot us an email to be involved in the conversation at artofgivinguppodcast@gmail.com, or that you could reach out to you at c__honey at Instagram.com, or that you can reach out to you at humblebumblebear/ what is it, WordPress?
No, it's bumblebear.squarespace.com.
Get a fucking domain name.
Or Instagram at c__. You just said that, I know.
Yeah, you're garbage.
Sorry, I was a little distracted by your stories of Those weren't jokes.
They're not. Listen,
you made jokes out of...
Okay, yes.
That wasn't the intent.
A lot of the people that I've experienced, I know.
Learn how to write a fucking joke.
I'm sorry that my life is so traumatizing. The majority of the women that I know have been abused, and it turns me on. I'm sorry. You should see your fucking face. I'm the bad guy right now. Your fucking face right now.
I'm bad by association. I'm bad.
But you need me because I'm your black friend. Yeah. And, what? Go ahead. No, I need it. Give it to me, please.
No.
Give it to me.
No, it's not.
You got one more joke on there on that piece of paper there?
Nope. Nope. Burying that one deep down. If you want to see any of my stand-ups where I have actual written jokes that aren't just about internalized trauma, you can see me at Central Park shows. I'm in Sheep's Head Meadow, 5:30s Wednesdays and Fridays, 5 p.m. Mondays and Tuesdays.
What city? Where? You're garbage. In New York City.
It's Central Park. Fucking figure it out.
There's other Central Parks. In Central Park in New York City on Wednesdays.
All right. This fucking guy. 5:30 Wednesdays, Fridays, Monday, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Or at the Tiny Cupboard in Brooklyn on Tuesdays around 10 p.m. That's where I be. Doing jokes, slinging yokes.
You're a piece of shit.
Fuck you.